Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely, and parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Try Greenlight risk-free today at greenlight.com/Wondery.
They're going to be mad because we got to give them something good we got
to tide them over.
We shouldn't have left them without a dope beat to step them.
It's been a long time in the future that we left them without a dope beat to step
them
to them. Step two. So
that's what we're not going to do.
That's what we're not going to do.
We're going to give him a dope beat because it's going to have been a long time when we come back. And we want them to remember us with a dope beat.
In August, when we come back, they're going to be like, thank you so much for leaving us with a dope beat to step two. And we will say step two.
Everyone's mad at Mr. T. Imberland. He said he's going to start a new company that makes AI music.
Oh, Timbo, no.
But he's just trying to set us all up for the future when eventually he leaves.
He leaves, and then there's
plane.
He exits.
He needs to make sure that he leaves everyone with a dope beat to step to. Even if it's not as dope as if he made it.
As if a human being. Here's the thing, Timbo. I'm so sorry, Timberland. If you're listening, Timbaland. If you're listening, first of all, where is Magoo? Where did he go? Where the hell did Magoo go? And second of all, there are other people who can make dope beats to step to. You don't need to program the robots to do it.
Okay,
and take food out of the mouths of other dope beat producers,
such as Magoo.
Like, what the fuck? Where is Magoo?
Which between the two of us, who do you think is Timbaland and who's Magoo? I know what you're gonna say.
I think I'm Magoo.
No.
I feel like you're out there leaving them with dope beats to step to, and I am sleeping. You've never heard from me again, you know?
Oh, Magoo probably does get to sleep a lot.
Yeah.
No, he probably like works at the post office now or something.
I know. Speaking of leaving me without a dope beat to step to, Magoo, where are you, bruh? Oh my God.
Why did Timbaland apologize in song when he actually has kept on giving us dope beats to step to this whole time?
And apparently sidelined poor Magoo.
Meanwhile,
do we need to explain who Timbaland and Magoo is? No, right? Come on. I'm not billboarding that for you.
To our demo?
To our demo?
Specifically people born in 1982? I don't think so.
43-year-old weirdos? I don't think so. With hyperfixation problems? I think they know who Magoo is.
Megan, I don't even know who Magoo is. What the fuck is Magoo? Like,
does he have bad eyesight? Is that why they call him that?
Oh
my God. Magoo that liked hamburgers? Was that Magoo?
No, that's Wimpy.
Oh, that was Wimpy.
From Popeye. Which hopefully you'll be hearing about soon from this podcast. But no, Mr. Magoo had the bad eyesight. But that reminds me, did you see that thing I just sent you on Instagram? That's an interview with T-Pain. And he's like being interviewed on a podcast, and they're like, how'd you get the name T-Pain? And then he's like, well, when I was a teenager, my name was Mr. Torturer. And then my friends were like, you come on. You can't be named Mr. Torturer. You're like a 4-foot dork. You're not Mr. Torturer. And
it's
then
not going to work.
No.
You know, I feel like we take a lot of rapper names for granted. You don't even think about them twice once they become kind of ingrained. Like, we just call that guy Killer Mike.
Yeah. Right.
Killer Michael is his name?
It's a bad thing to be, I think.
Like, don't get me wrong. I would die for Killer Mike. I love his music. I love Run the Jewels. But Killer Mike just seems like such a pedestrian name almost.
The face of a Mike, and he kills people?
And he kills people? Is that what he does? Killer Mike? It's like the rap version of Bob the Drag Queen. You know what I mean? Killer Mike.
I mean, it's almost like, is that the bit that he's doing? Maybe that's kind of the joke.
Maybe it's just the bit. I don't know. Killer Mike, if you're listening, give me a call.
I pick up the killer phone.
Yeah.
I want to say two things. One, have you ever seen video of T-Pain singing without the auto-tune? Gorgeous.
Oh, interesting.
Look that up. And also, if you don't know, T-Pain is one of our nation's top comedians, number 2 after Donald Trump, I would say.
Yeah, it's true.
And
I've seen a few clips from his podcast. T-Pain, if you ever want to do a promo swap, let us know. Mr. Torture, if you're listening. But my favorite, nothing has made me laugh harder than T-Pain realizing that Instagram has like a secret hidden folder. And celebrities have been sending direct messages to T-Pain for like 4 years, and he didn't get any of them because they all went to like the hidden folder, or like the request folder. And then he just had made this video, a screen record of his phone, just going through the request folder, like fucking Viola Davis is in there. Like the Oscar award winner Viola Davis is in there. I want to say Michelle Obama. Yeah. You know, Kerry Washington, like luminaries of Hollywood are like, T-Pain, what's up? Like, let's get together. And he's like, why did no one tell me this folder existed? I could be so much more successful if I had answered literally any one of these DMs in the last 4 years.
Dude, T-Pain's a star.
I love him. Well, welcome to Text Me Back podcast, the only podcast. I'm Megan Hatcher-Mays, and
I'm Magoo. And
is Magoo.
Actually, I just realized, you know who we could probably get on the podcast?
Magoo. What the fuck else is he doing? And I don't mean that as shade. I want to know.
What's he Magoo-gooing?
What are you Magoo-gooing?
He's probably like the president of Time Warner or something.
Maybe like MC Hammer, he started like a dev. What do they call what did the Silicon Valley guys call those things where they all sit around and code together? It's like a percolator, but it's not
circle jerk.
Nailed it. Anyway, maybe he has an app.
He's probably got an app that tells people.
Why can't I think of the name of that word? It's not percolator.
A think tank.
No.
A stink tank? A spank bank?
More like a stink tank. Anyway, welcome to the show. We have much to discuss. We are going to be discussing what we're watching.
Oh, still don't have a theme song for that.
Still don't have a theme song.
What's that?
We're going to be...
Magoo, if you're listening.
Timbaland's robot. Hello.
If you're listening.
Over the wires.
Magoo's a musician.
It's a human man,
right?
Yes, that's what they say. Who knows? Anyway, we're going to be doing a segment that we're calling Lindy Doesn't Like It When You Ask How Megan is Doing. But first, a segment we're calling Rats. Rats. And very rich.
Also, are you going to keep, is it? We're also doing Megan's surprise micro segment.
Yes, I'd like to share that I'm doing something scary for once. And I'm going to utter the scariest sentence in the English language called, I have a secret micro segment that I'm saving for the end. By the way, I told Lindy this before we started recording and she went, oh no. And I was like, you do not get to be scared about people showing up with mystery micro segments, ma'am.
Okay, no, tell the whole conversation because Because then I said, actually, I'm not scared because I like you.
And I would like the record to reflect, at no point have I responded with, I like you too. Anyway, that's Text Me Back podcast. Lindy, would you like to talk about rats?
Rats. Megan, I
Yes.
went to the barber salon. and so I grew my hair out real long.
It was so long. Yeah,
So
like last
long.
summer.
Yeah. Longest it's ever been in my life, maybe. My hair just grows and grows. And it started to make me depressed. I thought I would like it I thought I would continue liking it the longer it got. And
Yeah.
I stopped liking it.
Yeah. Well,
And I just,
if you're a pig person,
yeah.
I think people can relate. The feel of hair touching you like that when you're already kind of sweaty, it's a lot, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Pig DNA.
Mm-hmm.
Pig DNA.
So I finally, I was like, I'm going to get it cut off. So I went to sweet stylist Dylan in Tacoma, Washington, Daydream Salon, if you're looking. And we were like, I was like, I want like a pixie cut it all off. And then everyone that I talked to about that was like, don't do that.
Yeah.
They were like,
Including me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that people were like, you'll look ugly, but they were like, you will never go get that maintained. And then you will have a horrible head.
Exactly.
A horrible, shaggy head that you will send you spiraling into hell.
Almost word for word, that's what I said to you. I just was like, it's not that you have the wrong head shape for a short haircut. I think you'd look really cute with like a pixie cut. It's just that you're gonna have to drive minimum to Port Townsend every 6 weeks, but probably farther.
Yeah.
Every 6 weeks.
Right.
You know?
So.
So.
Basically people were like, you don't have the emotional constitution for a pixie cut.
You don't have the wherewithal.
You don't have the executive function for a pixie cut.
Although you do have a calendar now. You have a paper calendar now.
So
things are changing. Things are changing.
You don't want to see the amount of debris piled on top of my paper calendar now.
She's still technically using it. It's okay.
Yeah. So we didn't do a pixie cut. We did sort of like a short bob shag thing that that was really cute. And then on the second day, I was like, oh, yeah, that's that thing that I hate that my hair does when it's that length, where my hair does this thing where I feel like what I want it to do is lay against my neck, like lay flat against my neck and then do a little flip like the mom from the Brady Bunch. But instead, it just gets sweaty and stiff and it stands like an inch out from my neck.
Yeah, like a ducktail.
To me, it looks like Donald Trump's hair.
Okay,
like the neck of a sweaty businessman where the hair is just sort of
rich. Seriously overweight.
And this is not Dylan's fault. This is like a mental problem that I have where I see my neck and I just see Donald Trump's neck. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that was fine. You know, it grew out a little bit. And then I was like, like in a week, I was like, oh, good. It's not doing sweaty businessman anymore. It was all fine. And then for 4 months, to your point, Megan, I did not go back to get a haircut because I don't know. Time passes. Yeah.
And then 2 days ago, you texted Ron, Big Ron, and me to be like, I'm finally getting my hair cut. Stop mocking me. Stop making fun of me. And Ron and I were like, what are you talking about? It's always been a very cute haircut, but it was a big change, I feel. Maybe it sent you into a little bit of a spin.
It was just the 1 inch at the bottom in the back.
Yeah.
Anyway, I finally went back to Dylan and we talked about it and I was like, you know what? What I wanted originally was to cut it off.
Yeah.
And then the problem was that we didn't go far enough.
Mm-hmm.
And so let's just do it. And Dylan was like, great, let's do it. But then I was like, I never even realized that this was my dream. But there's all these things in my life where I always feel like I'm not cool enough for like anything.
Yeah. Right.
And so you know how like like a cool person will have like a weird haircut. And I just have always been like, I could never have a weird haircut.
I know. It's yet again one of those things of like, not only am I not cool enough, but it's like, it just feels like only certain people are allowed to engage in subversive fashions and haircuts and things. And I've always felt like maybe I'm not allowed to do that. You know?
So then I was like, Dylan, what if we cut it short? But then we just kept like 2 long pieces. And then I can have 2 little rat tail braids. 2 little braids. And then it can be like a security blanket. Like I'm not going all the way short. Yeah. You know, because I got my 2 little braids.
Because you got your 2 little rats.
I got my 2 little crust punk avrat rats.
Yeah, Slats would be proud. Slats of Broadway would be proud of your 2 little rats. May he rest in power.
Let me tell you. So that's what we did. So I have like a little, well, in the morning when I wake up, it's a Kate Gosselin because the whole back.
Yeah, I would like to say that Lindy texted me unrequested, unbidden, a photograph of famed multiple mom Kate Gosselin. Haven't thought about her in 14 years. The haircut is as bad as you remember. Pretty bad.
Yes. And that's not the haircut that I have. I'm just saying, like, what I have is like a really cute little shag kind of.
It is very cute.
Thing. But
we're driving you to the YouTube so that you can see it visually.
Oh, did you want to see it visually? You better go to the YouTube.
You better subscribe to the YouTube.
But when I sleep at night, it sticks straight up in the air when I wake up in the morning. And
definitely giving Gosselin.
It's giving Gosselin, which I like, honestly.
Lindy West +8.
Lindy West +8 rat tails. That's next. But I am so excited about my little rat tails. I've been braiding them myself, but this morning I asked Aham to do it because he's a #girl dad. And so I was like, you know how to do a little braid. And then he did such a cute job. So now I'm going to see if he'll do it every day. Because here's what I don't like about braiding my own hair. Oh, my arms are so tired.
Like, I have to reach so far. This is like just a reminder. The reason Lindy doesn't like to shave her legs is because they're so far away.
Oh my God.
It's so hard.
God, just this morning, I was like, I'm thirsty. Too bad Dirty Mama is empty. That's my customized giant hydro flask. So my office is in this loft, which has a window that opens into the main area, like the kitchen dining room area. And so this morning I was like, I wish I had like a basket on a rope that I could lower down and have somebody refill Dirty Mama for me. And then I was like, maybe I should ask them. And then I was like, Roya would say yes, because she's nice. Aham would definitely say no. He would be like, walk down the stairs. You just loser.
Come get your own goddamn water.
The fuck is wrong with you?
Stop making me do physical labor for Dirty Mama. Well, the rats look great.
Oh, thanks. I just feel like I'm like a cool girl. Look, am I 20 years too late on this? Probably yes.
Maybe.
But yeah, now I have 2 rat tails.
Congrats. Rats.
You know what it makes me feel like? Like a little fairy princess.
Oh, look at her. Yeah. She's gonna get a pair of fairy wings from Etsy and hop around the woods making TikToks.
I am not gonna do that. However, if I did have a fairy folk alter ego, you know what my vehicle would be?
What would it be?
Chariot pulled by rats.
Rats. Well, congrats.
Thanks. I just wanted to tell you. Rats. Say it right.
Rats. Grats.
So I just felt like since rats are a really important part of this show's lore for some reason.
Yeah.
I just wanted to tell you. Oh, wait, hang on. We have something on the media board called Rats! ! And I think I tried to.
But it doesn't sound right.
It doesn't sound right, but let's play it anyway.
Give it a shot. Yeah.
Can you intro what this is?
No, just play it.
Okay.
Yeah. That's Eddie Vedder saying, rats in the Pearl Jam song, Rats.
All right. What's next,
It's a
Megan?
great
What you
song.
watching?
Let's take a breaky break. And when we come back, Lindy's going to talk about how she doesn't like when people ask how I'm doing. Stay tuned. Welcome to back to Tops in My Bad Podcast. And here comes the segment. It's called Lindy Doesn't Like It When People Ask How I'm Doing. Parentheses, Lindy doesn't like it when people ask her how anyone is doing. Lindy, would you like to take it away?
No. Okay. I just had this thought the other day. Because someone, I don't know who it was, because this is a very normal question.
It's so normal.
Could have been anyone. Someone was like, oh, how's Megan doing? And I was like, I don't know. I was just like overwhelmed with like, how am I supposed to answer that? I don't know.
I would just like to say you texted me out of nowhere to be like, I hate it when people ask me how you're doing. And I think I was laying on my couch watching Formula One, the Drive to Drive or whatever the fuck it's called. And I just started crying, laughing. I was like, okay, yes, I'm so sorry. And you were like, well, it's just, listen to the podcast. We talk about it on the podcast.
It's just that it's an unanswerable question. I don't know. She's got a dog and another dog. She's got a cat. Her husband works at the animal hospital.
Yeah.
What do you
well,
want
a lot of people don't know about the cat. That's good to bring up.
do they mean like how are you doing emotionally? Like bad.
Like existentially bad.
Like everyone's
bad.
doing bad. I don't
People
know.
do like to ask me like sometimes people will ask me like, oh, how's Lindy's book coming along? And I'll be like, I don't fucking know. I was like, why would I know that? Because the reason I don't know the answer to that question is because I can't think of anything worse than asking you that question. Like when you're in the middle of working on a book, I am not going to be like, how's it going? I just feel like that's an attack to be like, how's your book coming along?
Also, like, it's coming along fine. I don't know. It's just like, it's just like my job, and I just sit here and I work on it. I don't know. Same as yesterday. How's Megan doing? I don't know. She's just doing all the stuff she does. She watched TV. I don't know. She seems fine. She doesn't have any new diseases. She hasn't gone on a trip. But then even like, I'm like, oh, she went to Italy on a trip. Oh, how was her trip? I don't know.
I don't know.
Probably fun. She probably had spaghetti. I don't know.
Check Instagram.
All of a sudden, this has never bothered me my entire life. Something about this moment in time, I'm like, this is an impossible question, and I don't know how to answer it, and I don't want to answer it.
It's so funny because I responded to you and I was like, I fear your neurons might be diverging. And you're just like, I was like, I think you might be overthinking it. I think they're just asking to be nice.
And then I'm like, I don't know. I texted her a picture of Kate Gosselin. And then Megan said, did you hear they got Anne Burrell? And then I said,
by the way, that's how I announce every celebrity death. I always say they got whichever celebrity just died. And by they, I mean the Reaper.
I love Anne Burrell, and I can't
my
believe
God.
they got her.
I don't mean to make light of Anne Burrell, by the way. I love
Anne
her.
Burrell, a freaking god.
Nobody was doing it like Anne Burrell.
Love Anne Burrell. Just like, first of all, the culinary skill, but then also the like beautiful attitude of joy.
Can I also say I love somebody who commits to like a signature style too? Like I think I love her hair, you know, and people are always like, oh, she looks like Guy Fieri or whatever. Like, yeah, he did the same thing. This part of their iconography. What's not to like, you know?
Dude,
anyway,
nothing.
I bet Anne Burrell loved it when people asked her how her friends were doing. It's fine.
It's probably true. She seemed like a really nice person. She would have looked really cute with 2 rat tails, by the way.
I know she would have.
No, okay, look, I think that if I had to diagnose myself, I want to be a good friend. And I think maybe it triggers this feeling of like, I don't know how to sum up the enormity of a person.
I know.
You know, like, I don't know.
Also, I just feel like much of our friendship sort of exists on sort of this unspoken, deranged baby wavelength where so much of our communication goes unspoken. And yet I know so much about what you're thinking and feeling. And yet if someone were to ask me how you were doing, I would be like, I have no idea how to sum that up.
Yeah.
She is everything and nothing at the same time. Right. Do you know what I mean?
I think I also am angry about our socio-political moment. And so like, any version of that question, I want to be like, I don't fucking know, really bad.
We're all like a pulsing star about to implode on itself. Does that answer the question? Or
so,
do you need more? She has a cat.
No, I used to do this to Aham kind of where like, if he would go out and do something and then come home, I would be like, what'd you do? How was your day? What'd you do today? What happened today? Who'd you talk to? What's going on? What'd you see? What was different? Oh, you talked to so-and-so? What'd they tell you? And he would always be like, oh my God, I'm going to have a panic attack. And I would be like, wow, I just curious about your day because I love you. And it's called making conversation. And like, I would get so mad. And because he would be like, when you do that, the amount of pressure that I feel to like recall something interesting to tell you is like overwhelming, and I can't handle it. Yeah. And I never understood. And for some reason, you get it. Yeah. In late spring 2025, I suddenly
you caught the disorder.
I got it.
I feel like I don't do that to my husband Adam because his day is always something. It's like something really sad happened to a bird. So I go out of my way not to ask him any questions. I did have to set a boundary of like, if anything bad happens to an animal at work, you're not allowed to tell me about it. So I really go out of my way not to ask any questions of that kind. But then when I do catch up with other friends, that they will ask me how you're doing. And it's like, how do I sum up the last 25 years of our lives into one sentence for you? You know?
Well, it's also, I think part of it for me is that I'm like, you know, we do text all the time, but like most of the information that I have about you just comes from the podcast. So I really am like, you're as caught up as I am. If you listen to the podcast.
We do side text about a lot of stuff that does not make it onto the show.
Yeah.
I will say that.
Yeah, but the answer to how's Meagan doing isn't she said this cancelable thing about the Titan Submersible.
But that is how I'm doing. That's true. I'm doing. My mental health is so bad that I could be canceled at any moment if our texts leak. Anyway, and that is our segment that we're calling Lindy Doesn't Like It When People Ask How Meagan is Doing. I just thought it was so funny. I wanted to share it with everyone.
You know what that segment is, Meagan?
Yes.
Segment pubes.
It is. I think you're using perfectly acceptable ethics and systems, though. People using pupae perfectly accept pupaes.
pays.
Segment pupae.
Okay, you know what it is instead, actually?
Crazy lady living in a bag.
Okay, it literally is crazy lady living in a bag. Yeah. Okay, well, if you hate it when people ask how your friends are doing, give us a call. 703-829-0003. Or send us an email, deartextback@gmail.com. Okay, we're going to take a break, and then we're going to talk about what we're watching.
Welcome back to Text Me Back podcast.
Ever heard of it?
Ever heard of it? You know who we are. We're your hosts, Meagan and Lindy, and that means that we're watching something. It's time for Whatcha Watchin.
Oh. Is that the jingle? Oh. What We're Watching is on Netflix, gang. Well, actually, it's on Netflix and it's on whatever we're calling HBO now. We gotta revisit the Titan Submersible. Finally, some documentaries are coming out about what all happened there. I was watching one and you were watching one. We did not realize there are two.
Yeah.
One's on Netflix and one's on HBO. I was watching the Netflix one and I was like, wasn't it so crazy when that guy said Stockton Rush wanted to bring Pearl Jam down in the Titan Submersible? Rats. And then Lindy texted me to say, remember when the ocean hit Stockton Rush with the surprise left? And I said, goodbye. Oops. Ooh, his jaw left hurting. Dropped right open.
So, but I was like, they did not say that in the document. I was like, I must have missed that part. I do not recall.
Or maybe I haven't gotten to it yet. And I was like, no, it's like right at the beginning. Yeah. So that's how we figured out there's two. There's two. There's one on Netflix. And it's kind of like the dueling Fire Festival documentaries where we really got to watch them both to get the full picture.
Worth it.
Yeah, the Netflix one talks to a lot of the investigators, a lot of the employees of Ocean's Gate. Yeah. By the way, how funny is it that the name of the company already has the famous controversy suffix already in the name?
It's perfect.
And the HBO one talks to the woman whose son and husband died. And it's very, very sad. I just, we were just like texting about them both. And the one, it's just such a ridiculous catastrophe to have occurred because the main guy, Stockton Rush, very blatantly went out of his way to avoid any and all safety warnings, fired people who tried to tell him the thing was not safe. And so there is this feeling of like, well, you fuck around and find out. You found out, And many of the people on the submersible were sort of Stockton Rush acolytes. But you do tend to feel bad for the younger son who was on this thing because I think he just really wanted to have a nice little adventure with his dad. So that I do feel some sadness and sympathy.
Of course,
for.
Yeah.
But as I was watching them both, I was so surprised with just the amount of receipts of people desperately trying to tell Stockton Rush and his wife that this thing was not safe, that you should not make submersibles out of carbon. It's not seaworthy material. And that his science was not sound and that someone was for sure gonna die. You don't see that a lot, I feel, in like corporate controversies like this. Usually it's just like acolytes like making excuses. Like think of like the Theranos stuff. Like yes, there were whistleblowers with the Theranos stuff, but for the most part, everyone's like, she's a genius. Let's keep giving her billions and billions of dollars. But that was not really happening in this case at all,
No, I would say as far as I can tell from the 2 documentaries, nobody except for Stockton thought that this was going to work.
Yeah.
And I think he would just like hire new people who didn't know yet that the sub was going to implode.
Yeah, who are like getting like increasingly younger too, like people right out of college or like pretty newly out of master's programs or something.
And then he'd be like, "You're the new chief engineer."
and the lady's like, "I'm literally an accountant. Like, what are you talking about?" He's like, "No, you're the captain of the ship now.
You're my top submersible pilot." Like,
and
okay.
Then, you know, I feel like they didn't really interrogate this that much, but it happened more than once, I think, where he would go to like a younger woman working on this project and be like, "You're going to be the face of the company," because it's so important to have like a woman like be the face of like what we're doing here. Like he was very aware of the optics, and he really wanted a younger female employee to really be the face of this thing he was trying to do. It's like he had, but we don't really get that deep into that, but it's like pretty clear that like he was really chasing glory, and a part of that was to like put together an aesthetically pleasing group of people because he knew that that would get more attention. And I think like the all-woman space flight is just like another version of that. Like if you can get like beautiful people to validate your dumb piece of shit rocket / submersible, then you will get press attention. It's like it works all the time, you know. I mean, so
I think he wanted like woke cred for like giving for having there's not enough women in the submersible industry. Yeah. Like
implode more women.
And then there would be women who are like, "Yeah, I actually work in the submersible industry. Stockton, your submersible's going to implode." And then that woman where she said something and then they were like, "You just don't have the explorer mindset." And then they fired her.
It's so crazy.
She was like, "Yeah, I have the scientist mindset called you're gonna implode.
I have an implosion mindset. That's all that's on my mind. This thing's gonna fucking implode. I mean, it's wild." And Stockton Rush's big thing, his big innovation was that he had a system that would inform you that the sub was imminently about to implode.
Even the system was a whistleblower.
Yes, even the system was like tap 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 tap. Hello, like, and it was supposed to like acoustically hear creaks and cracks and groans and tell you that this under too much pressure something bad's going to happen, and it did. It told him that over and over and over again, and he just kept going down there, and he kept bringing people down there with him. Like that's the crazy thing, and the way he got around it was, if the ship is, I forget the actual word, I think it's just certified though, but if you get it certified, you can bring down paying customers. But in order to get it certified, it has to be safe. Because at first when he was like first getting investors, he was like, "We're going to get it certified. Like that's going to be the difference maker between this submersible and like the private submersibles." Because like James Cameron has one that is like truly the crown jewel of submersibles. But of course, James Cameron would never take paying customers down in his submersible. He has too much integrity. Thank you very much.
No, but I think, but I mean, all the science ones are all fully like accredited or whatever it's called.
But, and even they are like, we would never take down just like a random person. Anyway, so,
can I say really quick? One of the things I remember from when it first happened, that like part of the reason why all the submersible people were so mad is because there's so much like rigorous certification. Yeah. It's like the least dangerous form of transportation on like there have been like 0 deaths since 1965 or something until fucking Stockton. Yeah. And they were like, now everyone thinks that our thing is dangerous, and it's actually not, because we work really hard
with actual real scientists and not just some random heiress of the Macy's fortune. What the fuck? So the way he got around this certification issue and was still able to bring down private paying citizens was that he didn't call them customers. He called them like mission specialists. Dog. It literally is like calling Katy Perry an astronaut, you know?
It's literally the same.
That's how he got around bringing people down there and having them pay, is because they were paying to work quote unquote, on his mission to the Titanic, and that's how he got around it.
I wish it was quote unquote, because actually he had them doing real stuff. He had them like do riveting bolts into the submersible, like
tightening the screws on the inside.
That's a YouTuber. What are you doing?
Yeah, he literally had like YouTubers and stuff. And one thing I did not know from when this originally happened is that they were doing these dives off the eastern coast of Canada, I believe, like outside of Nova Scotia. And in the wintertime, they just left the submersible like in the parking lot of the marina over the winter outside.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, and people, of course, were like, Stockton, you can't leave the submersible outside. Water's going to get in there and freeze and expand and it's going to crack. Well, clearly, he's just like in a prison of money where he doesn't have, he like his whole reputation, his whole being is tied up in all this bullshit he's spewed about this stupid submersible company.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any more money to build a new carbon fiber tube. And so it's like he has to just pretend like it's fine. And it's like you almost feel like he can't admit it to himself that it's not fine, because it would like implode him emotionally as a human being. And
I
so
think he really was this, he would rather die. I genuinely, literally, he would have rather died than admit that it wasn't working. He was so desperate. We were texting about this too. He's like, he was so desperate to be thought of in the likes of Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk, which is so embarrassing, by the way, to want that fucking loser energy.
Imagine.
We've talked about this before. Our culture of genius, where we apply that label to people who don't deserve it. And we tend not to question if they actually know what they're doing. And I think he was doing that to like this incredible degree. And he was so obsessed with being like on the Mount Rushmore of tech bro geniuses that he was like, I can never admit that my submersible is a piece of shit. Right. And like, he knew that about these cracking noises. He knew about the actual cracks. And he would be like, well, cars make that sounds like that all the time. And it's like, dude, if I'm driving down the highway and my car makes a crack-a-lack sound, I'm going to the fucking mechanic. I'm not going to keep driving it. Dude, you maniac.
I was obsessed with this story when it first happened. I read everything I could find about it. I remember there was some deep dive. I think it was the New Yorker that did like a really, really great investigative piece that I read. And, but until I watched these documentaries, I had never heard what the cracking noise sounded like.
And
it's so much scarier than I could have imagined. And it's like the fact that they're in the Bahamas doing test dives. They heard the cracking noise. They then verified that the cracking noise indeed indicated a crack.
Yes.
They make a new tube that I think they did improve the technology. It seems like the second tube was better than the first tube. Like it lasted longer, whatever.
Yes, it did. Mm-hmm.
They start to hear the cracking noises again. But at this point, Stockton is like, he's in too deep to no pun intended. And so he's just like obviously it's sort of like easy and fun, especially these days, to be like, oh, ha, 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 the billionaire's imploded. The kid aside and the French guy who in the New Yorker article, it's like, because everyone's trying to figure out like, why did he go? Because a million people warned him. And then I remember there was some quote where someone was like, yeah, he told me he knew it was unsafe, but he felt like Stockton was a fucking idiot and didn't know what he was doing. And like, maybe if I was there, they would have some chance of survival or something. Like, it's devastating.
So sad. Yeah.
Because there was this other time where like Stockton was like, I'm piloting the sub, and then like immediately like got snagged on some debris and then like
that is a very scary scene in the documentary where he is so close to like crashing, I think, into the Titanic because he has no idea what he's using, like a game controller to pilot this fucking thing,
and he's not a submarine pilot.
No, it's just not something that you see very often in instances of sort of like corporate malfeasance where everyone is like, this is so bad, including like the press. Usually the press is so,
oh my God,
intoxicated by these like dick swinging genius boys. But man, the HBO one has an interview with a guy who has like a Discovery
Destination Unknown or Expedition whatever.
Yeah, some show on the Discovery Channel, and they set this up with Stockton, and they go check out the submersible, and the Discovery Channel guy is like, "Oh hell, fucking no!"
Yeah.
And he does get in the submersible. I don't think they go that deep because they don't go that deep because the fucking thing doesn't work. Nothing about it works. And the guy's like, nothing in the submersible functioned at all.
Yeah.
It was not nothing. None of it was working. But one thing he said was like, the craziest part is like you get in the front and then they drill you in, which is unlike any other submersible where there's some other way to get out. So if there was some sort of emergency and you pulled them back up, like you'd still have to wait and unscrew all the bolts to get everybody out of the fucking thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this guy at this point, like the Discovery Channel has expended funds to send this man to meet Stockton Rush and to get on the fucking submersible. And he was supposed to come back and do an actual dive if they got the submersible to actually function. And he calls up the big boys at Discovery Channel and is like, I'm so sorry. I know that you've already put some money into making this episode, but I'm not going back there. I'm not going on that item.
No.
I will not be submerging myself into the ocean on that tube. And you just don't hear about stuff like that usually. Like usually people are just like wrapped up in the genius of it all and they aren't thinking about it. But I mean, in this situation, you have high level engineers going to the federal government to be like, someone's gonna die. Like that's pretty uncommon, I would say.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, what I was going to say earlier is like, I feel like when it first happened, it's like, oh, ha, ha, ha. And watching the documentaries, especially, which both of them are kind of like a deep dive into what a dick Stockton Rush was.
Which is exactly what I'm looking for.
Yeah. I came out of it pretty much feeling sad for everyone except fuck Stockton Rush.
Yeah. I mean, he's such a bastard. There's no way he didn't know that fucking thing was going to implode. I just think that sometimes rich people think, oh, because I am rich, that proves that I am favored and that nothing bad is going to happen to me. And I think he was he so delusionally believed that he just thought, great, we'll just keep doing this. Of course, because, the federal government being what it is, there was no capacity to really like investigate these safety claims. It's like, it was totally preventable tragedy. And it is 1,000% Stockton Rush and his wife's fault.
Yep. It's
crazy.
A really, really horrible person, I would say. Like a
truly,
horrible guy.
Yeah. Like truly just a bad person. Yeah.
Like it's an ego trip. It's a scam. Oh, and I don't know if this is true. I haven't verified it. I haven't looked it up. But I remember also hearing when this first was all happening that the Titanic thing was just like kind of a ruse to generate money because what he actually wanted to do was develop a sub that he could then sell to oil companies to drill the ocean floor.
Cool.
Fuck
See you in hell, bitch. So I really recommend. I mean, I didn't come out of it feeling any different as far as like kind of feeling, schadenfreude about the people involved. But I did end up feeling a lot more sympathy for the people who really tried. They really tried so hard to prevent this man from killing all those people. They tried so hard. And so I did end up feeling a lot of sympathy for everyone else, except for him and his wife. I don't know if I should give this away, but they do have a scene. The wife hears the implosion.
Yeah.
Like she just hears the moment of his death and she's not aware of what it is in the moment, but she finds out later.
Normally that's the kind of thing that would really impact me. And I felt nothing. I was like, this is fucked up and crazy. And you guys found so many loopholes to avoid keeping people safe.
Yeah.
For your own gain.
Well, it's like the Silicon Valley motto is move fast and break things, whatever the fuck all it is that they say. And he really, and the thing is, it's one thing. Well, look, they're both evil in their own different ways, but it's one thing to make an evil website. Okay.
Yeah.
It's another thing to kill 6 people. Like what? You can't move fast and break things if it involves like human safety. That's just not how this works. Like, and I think they even say in one of the documentaries, regulations are written in blood. The reason that rules and regulations exist, while they may be onerous, is because people have died at work and doing things that we have the ability to regulate. And so, maybe that dampens your fun a little bit, but it does keep most of us alive. Not that I was ever going to go on a submersible, but you get the idea.
I just realized how those kind of people, the Silicon Valley tech people, probably view this, which is that actually he wasn't rich enough to do it. If he had been more rich, it wouldn't have been an issue.
Yeah.
Keep creating disposable submarine tubes. I guess.
Right. In the same way Elon Musk is constantly sending up a failed space launch every other Tuesday. He could have done that with submersibles, but he just simply didn't have the funds. How sad.
Yeah. How sad.
All right. So the dueling Titan submersible documentaries get the coveted Text Me Back stamp of approval. Check them out. HBO/Netflix. Write in and let us know how you think. Did it change your mind about innovative genius Stockton Rush and his wife? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to be like his wife. I don't remember what her name is, and I don't care. I hate her, and I don't care.
Wendy.
Shout out to Wendy. She lived.
She lived. And by the way, an anti shout out to the Stockton and Wendy for dragging the good name of Seattle/Everett into this.
Yeah, what the fuck? And the poor University of Washington is like, oh, no. Why am I in it?
Excuse me. This man was tooting around in my Salish Sea?
Oh, talking about submersing himself? Oh, heinous. Disgusting. I would like to say I'm so sorry to Everett. You deserve better than that. I am so sorry, kind of, to the University of Washington, although you did reject me senior year of high school. Something to think about. Maybe this wouldn't be happening to you if you had accepted me like a normal school. That's okay. We'll get them next time. And shout out to HBO and shout out to Netflix. My two slop kings for giving me my slop. Loved it. Thank you.
Shout out to the CEO of Netflix, Madhu.
I know you can't watch this visually, bud, but we're popping off. Okay, we're going to take a break and then the micro segment, then show over. Then vacation.
Megan, you know what I like about your top?
What?
Parentheses complimentary in advance. I just want you to.
Okay.
It's exactly the 7-Eleven colors.
It is. Isn't
my
that
favorite
nice?
store? My favorite store.
I bought this. It's a sweater skirt combo. They match. And I got by an Instagram ad. And they say one way to defund, if you want to stay on Instagram but not be like a part of it, don't click on any ads. Like don't buy anything from an ad that cuts off Mark Zuckerberg's revenue stream.
Great.
So I Googled the company myself. I searched up the company myself. I found it myself separate from Instagram, and then I bought it myself. So hopefully nobody got any money from that, except probably Google did, now that I think about it. But there's
called Big Juicy Brain Alert.
Only God knows who got the money from the sale of this outfit. Anyway,
Megan, it used to be you'd go to a craftsman, an artisan. They would have created a product that you required or an item, and then you would purchase it. They would get the money.
Interesting. Well, not anymore.
Not anymore.
Because we got to pay the innovator who made the website. He's the main guy we have to pay now.
You know what I wish? I wish that all the rest of the billionaire CEOs and innovators would try to be more like Stockton Rush.
In so many ways. Fellas. Anywhere you want to go for 4th of July weekend? Maybe down into the ocean for a little bit, a little hot minute. I bet Wendy has an extra submersible. She lived.
Last thing I want to say, though, by the way.
Yep.
Titanic? Question mark? Who cares? Exclamation point.
Just watch the movie.
Shit.
It's the same thing.
That rusty old husk is dirty. It's covered in crabs. It's
that
nasty.
old creepy crawler? I don't think so.
Corroded. It's
okay. You guys ready for my secret micro segment?
I'm so excited, Megan, because I love everything that you come up with out of that head of yours.
Lies. It's called What's Going On TikTok?
Oh.
And the first thing is so much toxic diet culture, but that's not why we're here. We're here to talk about something that has absolutely infected, parentheses, complimentary, my algorithm. And I know it's infected yours as well, Lindy, because we texted about it. It's called Budget Decorating Show from the 1990s that used to air on HGTV, hosted by a woman named Nancy. What's her last name? Don't know, don't care. Don't know, don't care. Every single video on my algorithm is Nancy absolutely fucking somebody's shit up. I can't get enough of it. I'm liking all of them because I really want my algorithm to have no doubt that all I want to watch is Nancy menacing every homeowner in a 50-mile radius from the years of like 1996 to 2001. That's all I want to see, you know? Let me set the scene. Basically, it was the roaring 90s, okay? We wanted our homes to look beautiful. We didn't want to spend a lot of money. So what are we going to do? We got to go to the garage sale, right? We got to pick up a couple chairs for $5. But you can't just leave them the way you found them. You need to get some warm paint, like a mustard, you know?
Yeah.
Like a mustard. You got to paint them shits. And then you got to put them in just like the worst part of your living room. So that your living room is impassable by a normal human being. That's 90s, baby. Like that's Nancy, baby. And the budget was always $500 and they do almost nothing with the $500. Like the prices in the 90s are shockingly high. Like the upholstery is always half the budget. And by the way, the upholstery is always a Native American motif. Always.
I feel like sometimes it'll be like, Dad's old jeans. That's the other option.
I just want to say that I am become Nancy. I am one with Nancy. I see not but Nancy with my waking eyes. And that's the way I like it. I want to say another thing. I think this might be Nancy's most menacing move. She was like, the homeowner doesn't like having a rug in the living room because she's got two big dogs and they're always throwing the carpet askew. Yeah. Because they're dogs. Yep. So what we're going to go ahead and do, and I know you're thinking, oh, get some rug tape down the rug. Yep. Why would you think that, you fucking simpleton?
Train your dog.
To quote Nancy, too obvious, too conventional. Nancy and old Carol here get on their hands and knees and they start painting a rug directly on that hardwood floor. The middle is purple, the border is yellow, and the second border is red with black harlequin diamonds in it. And then they seal it with polyurethane, but not before they paint fringe on the end of the painted carpet.
When she's done, then Nancy adds insult to injury by saying, but sometimes in the winter, you want a cozy rug for your feet, the soft rug for your feet. So you could just throw a rug over this.
While she's painting, she says it. It's like, Nancy, you've committed to the painted rug and now you're talking about other rugs already? Nancy,
what the fuck?
We've landed on this. We're committing to this, Nancy.
You chose this, Nancy.
This is what you said, Nancy. You said.
Do I think this abomination should be covered up by a real rug? Yes.
I very much do. By the way, how does this help your problem with the dogs?
Nancy.
Good God. But can we talk about the craziest one? I think you know which one. It starts out normal and you're thinking, okay, well, maybe Nancy learned her lesson about, intentional infliction of emotional distress. Maybe she was sued one too many times, right? So the woman the homeowner she's talking to, we'll call her Beth, is like, I went to a garage sale and I found a bag full of ruffles, full of lace. And then she took the lace out of the bag and turned them into curtains for her daughter Kelsey's bedroom. And they pan over the whole bedroom, and the grandma has knitted a bespoke wedding dress for Kelsey's Barbie doll, which is displayed on her shelf. They made a duvet for Kelsey's daybed. Everybody had a daybed back then, by the way. Incredible. Then they walk over to the closets. And Nancy says, oh, wow, Kelsey has 2 closets? And Beth says, yes, but she only needs one for her clothes. The real surprise is what we did with the second closet. And I'm like, oh, I can't even guess. What could they have done with the second? And I'm a little on edge because everything up to this point has been dated but normal. Okay. Sure. And I'm like, okay, well, what on earth could be happening in the second closet? They pop open the closet. By the way, the camera setup here can only be described as Lynchian, because at first they open up the closet. The cameraman was clearly on the floor of the closet with the camera pointed up at Nancy and Beth. Nancy and Beth are hovering over the camera going, ah! And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Then they cut back to outside the closet, and inside the closet is Kelsey sitting on a beanbag chair reading a book in the dark. And Nancy says, Kelsey, this is amazing. Was this your idea? Kelsey does not speak. Her mother, Beth, says, it was all her idea. And Nancy goes, I love it. The camera pans back to Kelsey and zooms in on her, whereupon Kelsey bursts into tears. And instead of cutting away from it, they just linger tight shot on Kelsey's reddened, crying face. And meanwhile, Nancy's just going, I love it. I love it. And they finally cut away from Kelsey. And that's the plot of Lost Highway.
I was just going to say, did you accidentally change the channel to that documentary about the mommy blogger?
It turns out she was an LDS mommy blogger. And Kelsey got wrapped up in something bad. I love these fun. I can't get enough. I can't get enough of these things. I just want to say, Nancy, if you're out there, you crazy bitch, will you call us? 703. I want to hand out my personal cell phone. If you're Nancy, please call me. I need to talk to you. You know what? Even more importantly, if you're Kelsey,
oh, girl,
are you good? I want to talk to you more than you could ever know.
Hashtag free Kelsey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hashtag prison for Nancy.
Yep.
I think. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's right. I have been loving these videos. But then I saw another video of a TikToker talking about the videos, and I was like,
yeah.
That's my thing. Like I felt like jealous.
It feels really like only I see them. They're only for me. It's like I feel like Nancy's talking only to me. Yes. Nancy has asked me to kill Ronald Reagan. I have to do it to impress Nancy.
Yes.
You know? And so I don't like it when other people talk about Nancy, because Nancy's my friend.
That's how I feel. I mean, I think Nancy's a little bit more your friend than mine, because you're watching Nancy pure and uncut straight from the TikTok. Yeah. I'm seeing Nancy when she filters through to the Instagram reels.
Oh, I'm getting cocaine.
The thing about it is that it's always like almost the same. Like you almost can't tell, but then it's like 10% cursed. Like
that's her sweet spot. Yeah.
Yeah. There's like a coffee table, and on the coffee table is this little green tray. It's very small. And she goes, see, we've just decoupaged this. She didn't even cover the whole tray. So it's like mostly just tray, but then she's glued on it like literally a random page from TV Guide.
Yes.
A cutout newspaper headline that just says sports.
Yes.
Like from the top, just from the top of the sports page. It just says sports. And then like a picture of a dog.
Yes.
And they're just sort of slapped on there And then she decoupaged it. And then she was like, this is for your husband. So he'll also enjoy the living room.
Very masculine.
It was so haunted and upsetting.
It's so crazy. And they're so casually psychotic, every single person. By the way, there's so many of them. I have never seen the same one twice. It's beautiful. I love it. And on the topic of decoupage, and then we are going to end this show.
Yes.
Have you seen the one where, first of all, Nancy's like, we thought about how we wanted to use these built-ins. We thought about putting the TV on it. Too conventional.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. You don't want to put the TV where the TV goes. Too conventional.
No. Why would you?
So we painted it a warm sage green.
That looks nice.
I'm fine with that. Okay, I agree. Maybe we could swap out the hardware. Nancy, call it a day. Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. Because Nancy proceeds, as she put it, to decoupage sacred Indian prayers on the front of the built-ins for some visual interest. So they decoupage it all on the front of the built-ins. Then they realize, old Carol and Nancy, they realize they don't really like the look of it. They don't like the look of the sacred Indian prayers on the front of the built-in. So they're like, so we decided to peel it off. Halfway through, we decided we loved the aged look and left it. And it's just ripped fucking dirty paper on the front of the built-in. And I was like, girl, I know an abandoned project when I see it. Don't act like that's a design choice.
That's called... I tried to take the sticker off my water bottle and it wouldn't come off. And so now I just live with it. It is so ugly.
That's called your hyperfixation wore off halfway through.
Oh my God. If you are someone out there who owns a Nancy original,
please.
I am begging. To Meagan. Is it for sale?
Name your price, dude. Name your price. I gotta have it. If you still have the tray that says sports on it with a dog next to it, I will pay you $500. I'm not even joking. So that was my secret micro segment. If your algorithm has been blessed by the presence and visage of Nancy, give us a call. 703-829-0003. Patreon.com/textmebackpod. DearTextMeBack@gmail.com. Let us know. I am obsessed. I haven't felt this obsessed with something in years. And I feel I've escaped fully into Nancy and I await annihilation, you know?
I don't know why the masculine tray is what pushed me over the edge. What Nancy implies is that a man cannot enjoy the living room. Like somehow the tray makes the man feel at ease.
Yeah. If there was no tray, he wouldn't be able to watch TV.
Right.
You know?
It's so weird. It's just like an alien made it. Like, what are you talking about?
It's God.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Anyway, so let us know if you know about Nancy or if you have some other weird thing infecting your algorithm. I want to know.
Yeah.
Keep us posted.
And we'll be right back with the closing out of the show.
Well, Lindy, we did it. And we're leaving them with a dope beat to step to. I think this is going to be over an hour. How kind of us.
Yeah.
How nice. And by the way, we're recording this on a Saturday.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Text me back.
You're welcome.
Yeah, fricka welcome, bud.
Yeah, we're leaving them with a great big chunky butt.
Okay. Now we're cooking with gas.
While we walk away.
We're going to find some goodies to put on the feed while we are off, not even really relaxing. We're going to be working on this fucking podcast still.
It's like we need to take some time off from the podcast so that we can work on the podcast.
So that we can do other stuff for other podcasts. But what that means is how you might be hearing us on other podcasts again. We're spending some time visiting other shows to proselytize the good word of Text Me Back podcast.
Yes.
So thank you for being a listener. Tell your friends about Text Me Back Podcast, the only podcast. If you haven't already, why don't you go ahead and subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/textmebackpod. If you subscribe at the $12 level, you get ad-free listening. Oh. And maybe you'll get, I don't know. I was going to say my Nancy impression, but I don't want to mock Nancy like that. You know, it's rude.
Nancy's always listening, Mick, so you got to be careful.
Always watching. Anyway, look, speaking of Patreon, lots of different tiers, lots of different goodies. We have a $3 tier, $6 tier, $8 tier, and a $12 tier. All of the tiers get access to the Discord, by the way, which is like a really fun and very cute community. Lindy and I pop in there from time to time, but really, I don't think our presence is wanted. There's a whole community popping off there that kind of has nothing to do with us. And I honestly can't think of anything sweeter than that. The community around this podcast is very sweet. It's so life affirming in these dark ass times. But it's really beautiful. So if you join the Patreon at any level, you will get access to our Discord and you can chit chat with the homies over there. And it helps us make the show. So if you like the show, thanks for supporting it, bud. Thank you.
We love you so much. And we love making the show.
And
we love the little Discord community. And by the way, the Discord is percolating without us. It's chugging along. However, I do want you to know, if you tag us on the Discord, we'll see it.
I'll see it.
So
I'll see it all right.
If you want to let us know something or ask us a question, we're in there. And it's an easy way to
it's a very easy way to track us down.
Yeah, exactly.
If you would like to talk to us about something, because I love a good notification.
Oh my God, I get so excited. Otherwise, I'm just sort of like combing all the different forums. What's it called?
Channels.
Being like, is anyone talking about me? And
me?
Guess what? No, they are not.
No.
They are living their lives, which is appropriate and good. But
and normal. Not us having a parasocial relationship. I don't think it's supposed to go that way.
Well, whatever, man.
It's fine.
Whatever, man.
But yeah, check it out. And again, helps us make the show. It helped us bring back the YouTube channel. It helped us bring back clips on Instagram. So yeah, thank you for supporting us. And if you don't have the buckage to support us financially, literally, it's almost as good. You know what? It's just as good to just tell your friends about it or leave us a review. That helps us a lot too. Because then people find the show and they're like, oh my God, it has 80 billion reviews and they're all 5 stars. I have to listen immediately.
Also, subscribe to our newsletter Me Back. It's on Substack. You can find it linked all over the place on all of our platforms, but it's just newslettermeback.substack.com. And I want to let you know that I will be continuing the newsletter throughout our month off. So if you are worried about going a month without your Text Me Back fix, that's a great spot to get some.
You better subscribe. Did you see that we have 1,000 subscribers?
We do?
Yeah.
We should do something for them
we
as a
should
gift.
Throw a party.
We should take a month off.
That's such a good idea. We should take a month off right now.
Starting right now. Yeah. Oh my God, that's such a good idea.
3, 2, 1. Mwah. Okay, really sorry. We had to come back from our vacation. Just to add this to the very end of the episode, we Googled Magoo. and he died.
Magoo died. You guys, I'm sorry.
No, we're really sorry.
Sorry to Magoo. I'm sorry, Magoo. Magoo died of a heart attack in 2023.
Rest in power, King. I'm so sorry. You left us with a dope beat to step to.
Why did Magoo die of a heart attack? Age 50.
Oh no.
Oh, Magoo. He doesn't even have his own Wikipedia, by the way.
Oh my God.
Rest in power, King, to Melvin Magoo Barcliffe, July 12th, 1973 to August 13th, 2023.
Rest in peace. Okay, I'm going to end the session for all.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye.